and a whopping 14 inches shorter than Chevrolet's Equinox. Not surprisingly, the Tucson trails most rivals in passenger and cargo space, but it compensates with great maneuverability and a surprisingly high fun-to-drive factor. If you're looking for more of a hatchback on tippy toes than a true SUV, the Tucson could be a nice fit. So let's go ahead and check out this 2015 Hyundai Tucson. Now our Tucson we have here is a limited, and it pretty much has every option you can get on the vehicle. And coming to the key fob design, I like the key fob. It has a pretty nice premium feel to it, but you do have your unlock lock to release your tailgate, and then your panic button too, of course. But as you can see, it has a little bit of class and style to it. Kind of like it a lot. Now as far as styling goes on the vehicle, I quite like it a lot. I think it looks very premium and it's one of the best looking in the class. But as you can see, it has some styling elements from its larger brother, the Hyundai Santa Fe, and it has the fluidic sculpture design that Hyundai introduced just a few years ago. Now it is a winter white exterior with smart key access on the front door and the front passenger door, and you do have chrome door handles with a brown leather interior. Your power driver seat controls, power recline, and your power lumbar. Now stepping on into the interior, the Tucson has a pretty high step-in height compared to the competition. It's not like a traditional body-on-frame SUV, but it just has a little bit higher of a step-in height. I noticed that. But as you can see, the cabin is very stylish and pretty luxurious as well, especially in this limited trim. Now you do have push-button ignition, of course. Just put your foot on the brake, hit the button to start. Full leather-wrapped steering wheel. Coming to your transmission, you have a 6-speed automatic, pretty standard stuff here. Nothing too noteworthy about it. You do have a Shiftronic manual shiftability. And then putting the vehicle in reverse displays your rear view camera, of course, with guidance lines. And let's go ahead and turn on the lights. You do have your fog lights too, of course, and the hazards. Only the driver's window is automatic in the Tucson. And let's go ahead and pop up the hood and check out the engine bay. Heated exterior mirrors with LED turn signal indicators. Halogen projector beam headlights with LED accenting lights, and your halogen fogs down there as well. Now under the hood you will find the optional 2.4-liter 4-cylinder producing 182 horses with 177 pound-feet of torque. This is actually the optional powertrain, and the base powertrain is going to be a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that provides very underwhelming acceleration. I recommend avoiding that powertrain. Definitely go with this powertrain if you're going to go with the Tucson. Expect EPA numbers of 21 in the city and 28 on the highway, which is pretty average for the class. It's nothing too special in terms of fuel economy, but at least it doesn't use anything like a CVT to boost up fuel economy. Pricing of the Tucson starts at $21,450 for the GLS model. That comes pretty well equipped with air conditioning, Bluetooth, and power windows, mirrors, and door locks. Now, coming up to the SE model, that starts at $23,500, and then you have the Limited, which starts at $26,200, and then you have the Walking Dead model, which is a pretty interesting name. That starts at $28,900, and this Tucson we have here is just north of around 30 grand. Now competitors of the Tucson are the Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, Ford Escape, Nissan Rogue, Chevrolet Equinox, Kia Sportage. Now coming to the rear, as you can see, you have more of that fluidic sculpture design. Full LED tail lamps, your limited trim badging, rear window wiper with a rear window defroster and an LED third brake light too. Now, like I said, EPA numbers are at 21 in the city and 28 on the highway. Total vehicle price is $30,030. Power windows, power door locks, power mirrors. Of course, nice soft touch armrest and soft to the touch on the mid door panel, and pretty good quality on the upper door panel as well. Let's go ahead and see what kind of soundtrack that 4-cylinder makes. Very nice. Actually doesn't sound half bad. Now, as far as materials and build quality goes, it's pretty average for the class inside of this cabin here. Don't expect to find anything like a soft touch dashboard, but the graining of the plastics have a very nice feel to them. And other cars, like the Ford Escape, will feel a little bit nicer inside in terms of their materials. But it's pretty average for the class. They're all the places where you need to be like soft to the touch, like your armrest and the mid door panel, and on the center console. Those are all the very important places. Now, coming down to the center stack controls, I like these center stack controls and how they made it very simple and clean looking. But you do have dual zone automatic climate control. I don't even think you can get it any cleaner than this. And here's your fan speeds, your front window defroster, of course. Heated seats are located right here for the driver and passenger, and they are two-staged. Down here, you will find two 12-volt power outlets, a USB port, auxiliary input, and then a little storage cubby down here. Then you have your cup holders right here. And then coming to the center console, no power outlet or anything like that of that nature. The center console is okay, an okay size. It's not really big or too small either. Now, coming up here, you have your garage home link, auto dimming rearview mirror, and Hyundai's Blue Link telematics system, which is kind of like OnStar. And then you have your sunglass container. And you also do have a panoramic sunroof as well, which gives the cabin a much more airy feel inside of here. Now, as far as driving impressions go of the Tucson, thanks to its compact dimensions, it makes for a very fun to drive car. And it's one of the better handling vehicles in the class. It's just about as good as the Ford Escape or the Mazda CX-5. Now, coming over here, you have your downhill assist control, traction control, and then your gauge cluster lighting, the brightness of it. Now, as far as seating comfort goes, the seats are pretty well bolstered. They have a pretty nice, decent amount of cushion to them. They're not the most comfiest seats I've ever sat in. I think I like the Honda CR-V seats a little bit better just because they're more comfort oriented, but these seats are pretty nice as well. Now, coming to the gauge cluster, you have blue gauges, and then you have a little information center right there, which gives you your average speed and then your trip odometer too, of course, and then your range, and then your average fuel economy as well. Now, as far as the steering wheel design goes, I'm not really a huge fan of the steering wheel design, but you do have steering wheel mounted audio controls, your voice recognition, Bluetooth phone controls, of course, and your cruise control buttons and your trip odometer. Now, let's get to the main head unit here. I love this head unit so much just for its simplicity and its responsiveness. And the responsiveness of this touchscreen is just superb. Loading times are superb as well, but you do have AM, FM, satellite radio, your optical disc drive is right here. And then you also do have your navigation system. The nav is alright. It gets the job done. There's nothing too noteworthy about it. Don't expect to find anything like 3D rendering of buildings or anything like that, but this is kind of like a 3-year-old system here. But you have your points of interest, like find your restaurants, gas station, whatever it is. And then you also do have an SD card slot for the map. You have your fuel consumption data right here. They call it eco driving. And of course you have your Bluetooth phone and your connections, of course. And you can store your contacts and have a phone book on here. But as you can see, just the responsiveness of this touchscreen is so great, and I love the simplicity of it. It's just so easy to use on a day-to-day basis. And you do have HD radio as well. Now, if you want something that has a little bit more passenger and cargo space, then you're probably going to want to step up to the Santa Fe Sport, which has way better cargo space and passenger space than the Tucson. Now, as far as visibility goes, it's not that great inside of this car. The seat pillar is very thick, and that creates a huge blind spot back there. Very big blind spot. And the glass area all around is not that great either. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and shut down the Tucson. Let's go ahead and check out the rear seat passenger space as well as the trunk capacity. Now, like I said earlier in the video, where the Tucson really lags behind in the competition is in cargo space. But to fold the seats down, just pull these levers up right here, and then you also do have a cargo cover as well. Then you also do have a 12-volt power outlet right there. But no power tailgate for $30,000. Materials do follow back through on the rear, so thankfully they didn't cheapen out. And it's still soft to the touch on the upper door panel where you might rest your arms. And it's soft to the touch on the mid-door panel as well. Now, sitting back here, I'm actually quite surprised. It's actually roomier than I thought. I have the driver's seat to where my driving position would be, and I'm about 5'11", and I have enough room to spare. However, it's still not as roomy as the Honda CR-V. But like I said, the panoramic sunroof definitely gives it a more airy feel inside of this cabin. Now you do have dual map pockets, rear air vents, center armrests with cup holders, and the seats are decently comfortable. However, they do not recline, which may be a con for a lot of people. However, like I said, if you're looking for more room inside of an SUV, definitely go with the Hyundai Santa Fe. It just has much more better utility. It's way more versatile than this car. Alrighty. Full manual passenger seat. Your glove box compartment. That's actually kind of weird that the rear window defroster button is located right here. And then the front window defroster is located right here, and there's a much smaller button than the rear window defroster. Just a little odd styling detail I had to note there. Alrighty. So the 2015 Hyundai Tucson serves up as a satisfying blend of fashion, features, and maneuverability, though its interior space is somewhat limited. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.